Okay, so absolute value of x plus 7 equals 4. What's the meaning of this in terms of distance? So we start with distance between, and then you fill in the rest, okay? And people did that. So what do we get? Absolute value of x plus 7 is the distance between what and what? Well, it's a distance between -7 and x, okay? And go back and look at what we did previously and understand why it's -7 and x, because it's x minus -7 is x plus 7. The distance from -7 to x is x minus -7, which is x plus 7. A lot of people wrote the distance between x and 7 is 4. Okay, now that wasn't bad, but it's really distance between x and -7 is 4. Majority of people got that, but a significant minority, it's almost 50-50, wrote down the wrong number here. Okay, so, well, what numbers satisfy that? Well, we could figure out what the numbers are, but I just want to do it on a number line. Okay, now what we do in the number line is we put -7 here, right? And then we go 4 units from -7, and we make 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. We don't figure out what x is, we just make 4 marks here, and we're satisfied that whatever the label of this mark is, it's 4 units from -7, and the absolute value of whatever that number is minus -7 is going to be 4. And then we go 4 units on this side. We just mark off 4 units. Now I've written, you see what the numbers are here. I didn't write these numbers down. I just called this is x and this is an x that lie at distance 4 from -7. Okay? Then we can figure out what the numbers are. I mean, if we're at -7, then we can just count, -6, -5, -4, there it is, -3. That's where the -3 came from. Didn't do any arithmetic. I just counted dot marks. Now that doesn't work if you got fractions and decimals and huge numbers, but for an illustration, it works just fine for these small numbers. Okay, then if we go 4 this way, well, we're at -7, we got -8, -9, -10, -11. Okay, and that's where the -11 came from counting marks. We make 4 marks in each direction, and then we count to see what number goes there and what number goes there. Counting on our fingers, basically. Okay. Now, we can, of course, do this algebraically, and it's necessary to do it algebraically in many cases, and it's more convenient in most cases. So, here's how we interpret absolute value of x plus 7 equals 4. Well, how can the absolute value of a number be 4? Well, it's 4 if the number is 4, and it's 4 if the number is -4. What's the number? Well, the number we're taking the absolute value of is x plus 7, whatever that happens to be. So, if this number is 4, then we have the equation x plus 7 equals 4. And if this number is -4, its absolute value is still 4, so we can say x plus 7 is -4. Either of these satisfies, and nothing else does. Okay? So, we easily solve the equation this time. X plus 7 equals 4, subtract 7 from both sides, we get -3. And of course I jumped for joy because it agreed with what I got when I counted on my fingers. So it means I did the algebra right. Okay, over here, x plus 7 equals -4, we subtract 7 from both sides, get x equals -4 minus 7, which is -11, and let's see, what do we get here? Oh boy, we got -11, we're happy. Okay, the algebra confirms our distance reasoning. Okay, so, bottom line, if you have an absolute value, something equal to a number, then that something either has to equal the number or it has to equal the negative of the number. There's a little caveat in that. This can't be a negative number here, because an absolute value can't be negative, can it? Okay? So this number has to be bigger than 1. An absolute value can't equal something that's less than 0. I'm not sure what I said in the sentence before that, but I don't think it made sense. In any case, the absolute value can't be less than 0, can't be negative. So this number can't be negative. Okay. And if this number was negative, like let's say this was -6, then you'd say there's no solution, because there's no way an absolute value is equal to -6. Okay, now we'll look at inequalities. We'll look at the inequality absolute value of x less than 6, an inequality where the absolute value is less than a number, and an inequality, in this case, absolute value of x plus 2 is greater than 8, absolute value is greater than a number.